To kickstart a business in India, you are not only required to incorporate it, but also obtain certain central and local level licenses and registrations as prescribed under various laws. One such important registration is the professional tax registration, and in this video, I am going to explain the entire procedure you need to follow to obtain it. But before I begin, let me introduce myself. Hi, I am Sugandh Anand, a startup advisor at SET India Biz, where we provide tax, compliance and IBR services to businesses across India. The topics I will cover in this video include number 1, the meaning of professional tax, number 2, the need for professional tax registration, number 3, the eligibility for professional tax registration, number 4, the process of professional tax registration, number 5, the documents required for professional tax registration, and finally, number 6, the due dates to obtain professional tax registration. We have a lot to discuss, so let us begin without any delay. What is professional tax? Professional tax is a tax levied by the state government on individuals and entities who are engaged in any profession, trade, calling, or employment within the jurisdiction of the respective state. It is imposed on the income of such individuals and entities and is calculated based on the income slabs under which they fall. However, the tax rates and slabs may vary from state to state. For professionals employed in full-time salaried jobs, professional tax is usually deducted and collected by their employees and is deposited to the state government on their behalf. However, for self-employed and independently practicing individuals or for businesses carrying out a specific trade, profession tax has to be paid to the government directly by the tax assessors themselves. Paying professional tax is mandatory in certain India states for all professional and businesses entities, be it individual or non-individuals, working for or not for profit. In order to successfully pay the tax, a registration under the Professional Tax Act of the concerned state will be required. Our discussion in this video from now onwards will be focused on professional tax registration, its complete overview, process of application and the prescribed due dates. Let's begin with the overview of professional tax registration. What is professional tax registration and why is it important? Professional tax registration is a registration provided by the Labour Ministry of those states where professional tax payment is mandatory under the Professional Tax Act. You can check out the full list of all such states in the description box. Now, there can be a number of reasons why professional tax registration has been made mandatory in these states. Let us discuss a few of them one by one. Professional tax registration ensures compliance with law. Professional tax registration is a legal requirement under the Professional Tax Act of the state, and a failure to comply with it may result in significantly adverse financial and legal consequences. These may include heavy penalties, late fees, additional charges, and the inability to obtain other necessary licenses and permits. The certificate obtained after completing professional tax registration serves as the proof of compliance with the state's professional tax laws. Also, the registration certificate can be produced during tax audits and inspections to prove that the concerned tax assessor has complied with all the tax obligations, especially those related to the Professional Tax Act. Professional tax registration enables the taxpayer to avail tax benefits. Some states offer tax benefits to individuals or entities who pay professional tax. For instance, there are states where professional tax is treated as a deductible expense for calculating the total taxable income of the assessors. To avail such tax benefits and deductions, it is mandatory that the taxpayer obtain professional tax registration under the relevant law. Moving ahead, who do you think is liable to register for professional tax? Who is eligible to obtain professional tax registration? First of all, by now, I hope it is clear that professional tax is not applicable throughout India, but in certain specific states only. So, in the states where it is applicable, all individuals and entities engaged in any profession, trade, calling, or employment are required to obtain professional tax registration. The eligibility criteria for professional tax registration can vary from state to state, but in general, the categories of individuals and entities who are eligible for registration include: Number 1, salaried employees working in the public and private sectors. Number 2, self-employed individuals such as doctors, lawyers, architects, and consultants. Number 3, business entities both for profit and not for profit such as partnership firm, LLPs, sole proprietorships, private limited companies, trusts, societies, etc. Number 4, freelance and contractual employees who are temporarily engaged in any profession, trade, calling, or employment and earning an income. Among these, except salaried employees, all entities will themselves be responsible to obtain their professional tax registrations from the state labor department. As far as the salaried employed are concerned, their professional tax registrations will be obtained by their employers on their behalf. It is important to note that all eligible individuals and entities must obtain professional tax registration as per the applicable state law to avoid unnecessary fines and penalties. When should you obtain professional tax registration? The due date of obtaining professional tax registration for business entities is within 30 days of business incorporation or business commencement, in case there is no scope of incorporation. Aside from this, for individual applicants such as salaried employees or independent practitioners, the due date is within 30 days from the date of appointment or commencement of professional services. If the registration is not obtained within the given due dates, it can lead to severe consequences, such as penalties ranging between Rs 5,000 to 25,000 depending on the state where the registration is taken and the period for which the registration has been delayed, disqualification from participating in tenders, and even imprisonment in certain cases. Therefore, individuals and entities must prioritize obtaining professional tax registration within the due dates and complying with all regulations for a smooth functioning of their business or profession. What is the process of professional tax registration? The overall process of professional tax registration definitely varies from state to state because the law under which such registration is obtained is specific only to the state where it has been formulated. However, I have outlined the general steps followed in the registration process quite similarly across all states. Let us go through each of these steps one by one. Step 1. Accessing the application. The first step is to access the professional tax registration application form. The applicant can download the form from the respective state labor ministry's website or obtain it from the local professional tax office. The mode of accessing and filling out the form can be both online and offline depending on the state where it is being filed. Step 2. Filling out the application form. The next step is to fill the application form with all the required details. The applicant must provide their professional and personal details such as their PAN card, identity proof, address proof, proof of business or employment, etc. If the applicant is a business entity, they must also provide details of their all employees. However, simply providing the details would not be enough. Your details must be supported by the necessary supporting documents as well. I will list these documents once I complete the registration process. Moving on to the next step. Step 3. Submitting the application form. After filling out the application form and attaching all the necessary documents, the applicant must submit the form to the local professional tax office or upload it on the respective state labor ministry's website according to what has been prescribed in the rules. Step 4. Payment of fees. After submission of the application form, the applicant must pay the required application fees as applicable in their state. The fee amount varies from state to state and is based on the type of business or employment of the applicant as well. It is crucial to pay the fees within the stipulated time frame and through the appropriate payment channel to avoid any penalties. If the form is submitted online, the appropriate payment channels might include internet banking, UPI, debit card or credit card. And if the form is submitted offline, the payment might have to be done through demand draft or bank checks. Step 5. Verification and approval. After the submission of the application form and payment of application fees, the Professional Tax Office verifies the details and documents provided by the applicant. The office may also conduct an inspection of the workplace or office to ensure that the information provided is accurate. Once satisfied, the office will approve the application and issue the registration certificate in the name of the applicant. Step 6. Receiving the Professional Tax Registration Enrollment Certificate. The applicant will either receive a Professional Tax Registration Certificate PTRC or a Professional Tax Enrollment Certificate PTEC, depending on the category on their application. If they have applied as individuals who are employed or engaged in any profession or calling, they will receive a PTRC, whereas if they have applied as business entities such as partnership, sole proprietorship and private limited companies which are carrying out a specific trade, they will receive a PTEC. In either case, the certificate will serve as a proof of professional tax registration and will have to be displayed at the workplace or office of the professional or the business entity. It is important to note that the validity period and renewal process for PTRC and PTEC may vary from state to state, and individuals and entities must ensure that their certificates are renewed on time to avoid any penalties or legal consequences. I will explain the renewal process in a separate video. For now, let me proceed to the last topic of this video, which is the documentation necessary for the professional tax registration. What are the documents required for professional tax registration? To apply for professional tax registration in India, applicants are required to submit certain documents that serve as proof of their identity, address, and the proof of their businesses or employment. The documents required may vary based on the category of registration and the state in which the applicant is registering. However, the basic set of documents required for professional tax registration may include: number 1, PAN card of the individual of business entity; number 2, proof of address, any one among Aadhaar card, voter ID, passport and driving licenses for the individual and recent utility bills for businesses; number 3, proof of business or employment such as Shops Act, registration certificate, service agreement, appointment letter, etc. Number 4, cancelled check or bank statement. Number 5, passport size colored photograph. Number 6, identity proof of the authorized applicant of the business entity. Number 7, NOC from the owner of the business premises. Number 8, certificate of incorporation. Number 9, constitution documents, MOA, partnership deed, LLP deed, etc. It is important to note that the exact list of documents required may differ based on the state and category of registration. Therefore, it is recommended that individuals and entities check the respective state government's website or consult our expert advisors for the exact and complete list of documents before registration. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Hopefully, I have covered all aspects and answered all your questions on professional tax registration. But if you still have any doubts or queries, you can post them in the comment sections or contact our expert advisors directly for detailed guidance. The contact details are mentioned in the description below. We also provide services of professional tax registration. So if you need our assistance, you can visit our website and send us your request. The link to the website is also given in the description box. If you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe for more informative content ahead. Thank you for watching. Watch our other videos as well.